In November 1991, Scotland suffered its most violent attack at the hands of animal liberation extremists. Research laboratories at Edinburgh University's Bush estate were extensively damaged in a firebomb attack.
The alarm was raised about 4:30 this morning, and 50 firemen fought the blaze for more than 4 hours. Fires also broke out in 2 other animal
Despite the
research
passage of more than 2 years, no arrests have been made. Glasgow University, where animal rights campaigners last month claimed shame on the seat of learning that keeps up a research link condemned a decade ago. I'm George Hume. Tonight, Scottish Reporters looks at the dark cloak of secrecy that shrouds animal experimentation and testing in Scotland. We ask, who wins in a world of intrigue, suspicion, terrorism and infiltration? 10 years ago, Keller's treatment of baboons at the University of Pennsylvania's Head Injuries Clinical Research Centre brought international outrage, a halt to the work and a fine on the university. Glasgow University collaborated in these experiments and defended the work. Today, regardless of that embarrassing involvement, Glasgow University is again working hand in hand with the scientists from Penn University. Toward the end of 1993, a report entitled Cities of Shame claimed that Edinburgh and Glasgow were among the busiest centres for animal experimentation and testing in the United Kingdom. You might not have known that, but that's not your fault, because the animal testing and experimenting industry is very keen to keep a low profile. Companies busy in the business of testing pharmaceuticals often also handle other products closer to the commercial cutting edge of a redder lipstick and a greener supermarket pea. There are many such laboratories throughout the United Kingdom, and Scotland has its fair share. All plead commercial confidentiality and demand anonymity when it comes to the question of who does what with animals. The government says, don't worry, the Home Office Inspectorate is there to look after the public's interest, and that of the laboratory animals too. But the charity, Advocates for Animals, argues, not so.
I think at face value and open to the public, they would seem to be tough. Our criticisms of them are that there's only 21 Home Office inspectors, men and women, to cover the whole of Britain. Now we're talking of nearly 3 million experiments every year, going on in 400 research laboratories by something in the region of 15 to 18,000 scientists. How on earth can they make sure everything is going on well? How can we be sure, for example, that they're coming down hard on these scientists?
The new weapon in the hands of animal rights campaigners is the video camera. Infiltrate an activist with a camera, and any guilty secrets which a laboratory may have are secrets no longer.
But you see, by now having the power of the video camera, which allows us maybe to get people inside laboratories, i.e. by getting a job within them, the scientific community and the Home Office cannot deny what is on video film. The Home Office inspectors knew that was going on and they did nothing about it. And they were in his laboratory 28 times, and anyone only needed to be in his laboratory for a few minutes, as I was, and he fell asleep in front of me. He couldn't remember from 1 minute to the next what he was about to do or what he had to do. Now, the Home Office inspectors must have turned a blind eye to that sort of nonsense. So therefore, I regret to say, as an organisation that supported the new legislation on animal experiments, we're bitterly disappointed at what the Home Office Inspectorate are doing to protect laboratory animals in this country.
These are the laboratories of Inveresk Research International, one of East Lothian's biggest employers. There's about 530 people work here. They carry out testing on a wide range of products. Some of them pharmaceuticals, others simple day-to-day products like propellant gases for things like aerosol cans, kind of stuff you would find in your home. For most of these experiments, they use rats, dogs and monkeys. We contacted Inveresk and were courteously received, but they had nothing to say, nothing to hide, and no, we could not film them. ARNI, the Animal Rights National Index, is maintained here at New Scotland Yard in London. It lists over 21,000 entries, the names and addresses of people concerned about animal welfare. But more than that, I can't tell you, for the police are extremely coy about their register. They won't say where they get their information, what the criteria are for a listing, and what they do with what they know. They will say only that they are answerable to the Home Office. The published material on animal rights supporters lists some 2,500 names, but the ARNI computer boasts a further 20,000 entries, giving details even of hair colour and other personal peculiarities. ARNI maintains it has absolutely no connection whatsoever with the animal testing or experimentation industry. But Scottish Reporters has obtained tapes of an ARNI representative, we have his name, giving a lecture in March of last year to members of that industry. In the lecture, he names individuals and organisations which have absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with terrorism. And he goes on to tell them how they can best avoid infiltration by the animal rights movement. The tapes cast grave doubt on the impartiality of ARNI.
Something I want to speak about is infiltration, which I'm sure is very close to your heart. All I can speak about really is so far that what's come to light and what's come to the notice of our unit. She was formerly known as Louise Molyneux, and she was actually employed as a campaigns officer for NALS. She changed her name by default, cut and dyed her hair, told her appearance. I say she didn't obtain a job as a junior technician at Smithfield.
Just why, you may ask, would a police intelligence unit amass such meticulous detail? And what happened to privacy? Some freedom of information or discussion by either the companies which do experiment with animals or by the police itself could very well throw up innocent explanations of some of the items that have come out in this program. But they don't speak. They hide behind the argument that they have a very real threat of violence to them by the Animal Liberation Front, the ALF.
After some 60 bombs against individuals by the animal rights extremists, the police have not even been able to arrest one person yet. In our view, the police powers are clearly insufficient to deal with this problem, and we've been pressing the Home Secretary to produce additional legislation on new police powers before some of the medical researchers are actually killed by these extremists.